Hello all. Whenever we start preparing for an examination, obviously we need to check out the examination pattern as well as its syllabus in much detail. But along with these 2 points, you need to keep the third point in mind, and that is the cutoff. Whenever you start preparing for any exam, you need to check out the past year cutoffs so that you can understand the current print and even you can have an idea about the difficulty level of the examination. So today I brings to you the cutoff of RBI Grade B examination since 2018, where we will be discussing the phase 1 cutoff, phase 2 cutoff, even we'll discuss the trend of sectional cutoff. Even I'll discuss with you the candidates percentage who have cleared this examination, they were from which background. I'm talking about their graduation and all, and even I will be discussing the average score of the students in phase 1 as well as phase 2 who were finally selected over the past years. So let's get started without any further delay. So first of all, the question is, cutoff depends on what all factors? Obviously, sir, cutoff depends upon the difficulty level of the exam. If the difficulty level of the exam is high, cutoff will fall down. Second is, it depends on total number of vacancies. How it depends on total number of vacancies? In case of RBI, let's take an example. 2 lakh students have applied for RBI Grade B exam. So all of them will be writing phase 1, and the moment they write the phase 1, then students will be selected for phase 2. But obviously out of 2 lakh, how many students are going to be selected? So that depends on number of vacancies. If the number of vacancies, let's suppose, are 300, then 20 times the number of vacancies, which makes it 20 into 300, that is 6,000 students will be selected for phase 2 exam. And then out of these 6,000 students, how many students will be selected for interview? So 3 times the count of vacancy, that is 3 into 300, which is 900 students will be appearing for the interview. And from these 900 students, a merit list will be framed, and the top 300 students from the respective categories will start their career as RBI Grade B officer. Along with that, obviously it depends upon the number of candidates who are appearing for this exam. And lastly, it depends upon normalization. What is normalization? Let's suppose the examination is conducted in 2 shifts, and shift 1 was difficult in comparison to shift 2. So obviously, in order to bring all the students on same scale, normalization is need to be done for the students where, or for all those students who have appeared for a difficult level examination in their respective shift. So that is again a factor which impact the cutoff. Now let's check out the RBI Grade B cutoff. Let's start with phase 1 cutoff. In 2016, the cutoff for phase 1 out of 200 was 98.50. Then it dropped down to 78 in 2017. Then out of 200 it dropped down, it increased to 105, and in 2019 it is 122. In 2020, examination was not conducted, but in 2021 there was a drastic fall in the cutoff, and this was the year when descriptive paper was introduced, because of which number of candidates applying for this examination also decreased because of the descriptive factor. Then in 2022, cutoff further fell down to 63.75. In 2023, this is the lowest cutoff till date, which was 54.25. If I talk about the current year cutoff in 2024, this cutoff was 67.25. As per the past analysis, since if I take in account 2021, the cutoff is below 70 marks, that is, it is below 35% of 200, that is the total marks of phase 1. But the important thing which you need to understand over here is, there is a sectional cutoff as well. Now the question is, so what do you understand by the word sectional cutoff? Which means you will not be able to clear this exam even if you're scoring total marks 67.25 until and unless you clear the sectional cutoff, until and unless you score the required marks in the given section as well. As you can see, back in 2016, the sectional cutoff was 20 out of 80 for general awareness, which is what? So this is how many percent? If I say this is 25%. Secondly, if I move ahead, it is 16.5, then it was again 20, then 16, then 12, 12, 12 and 20. So if we conclude, sectional cutoff, it was 25%, then it was dropped and it dropped down to 20%, Then the sectional cutoff was dropped to 15%. In 2022, the sectional cutoff was 15%, not only for GA section, but for all the sections. Same trend was followed in 2023, but in 2024, this year, RBI has done a surprising step, I would say, where RBI has increased the sectional cutoff to 25%, and that is the reason. That is the reason the cutoff jumped suddenly from 54.25 to 67.25. It's quite obvious that this year's examination was not so easy that cutoff should increase by 13 marks. The reason behind is RBI has increased the sectional cutoff from 15 to 25%, and many capable students who might have scored around these 67.25 marks, they were not able to clear one of the section, because of which overall the cutoff increased. And this is the reason, or this is the important point which you need to note down over here. So why I'm discussing this? From this, what one thing we can conclude, that in RBI Grade B Phase 1 examination till date, the highest cutoff, I'm talking about sectional, highest sectional cutoff till date is 25%. And if you are aiming to clear your 2025 examination, you must try to score bare minimum 30% in every section in order to avoid any loophole, so that you can clear the exam in the very first attempt itself. Bare minimum 25%, but if you aim 30%, that will be an easy task. That will be a good thought process if you want to clear this examination. Now, what will be the key takeaways? If I come up with the key takeaways, the first key takeaway from my point of view is, when you go for examination, not only phase 1, but obviously for phase 2 as well, you should not pre-assume the cutoff. You should not pre-assume the cutoff. You just analyze the paper well. And the moment you analyze the paper well, by understanding the difficulty of the level, you can estimate the cutoff, but you should not attempt the exam keeping in mind कि last time तो cut off 66 थी, इस बार भी 66 ही जाएगी, तो I should attempt only 80 marks. No, you try to attempt as much as you can, depending upon your preparation and the difficulty level of the examination. Second point is sectional cutoff till date. Sectional cutoff till date is witnessed 25%, which is the highest mark. So if it is the highest mark, you should target 25% bare minimum. As I said, if you're targeting 30% in every section, that will give you an extra edge over the other candidates, and you can easily clear the sectional cutoff. And with the help of this, you will be very close to clear the overall cutoff as well. Next is, there is a substantial difference in sectional cutoff as well as overall cutoff, which dropped down this time. What I want to say is, as you can see, last year in 2023, if I add the sectional cutoffs, 12, 4.5, 4.5, this is 9, 9 plus 12 is 21, 21 plus 9 is 30. So 30 was the sectional cutoff, total sectional cutoff. Overall cutoff was 54.25, which is approximately 2 times. But over here, the things have changed this time. 7.5, 7.5 is 15, 15 plus 15 is 30, 30 plus 20 is 50, that means 50 is the sum of sectional cutoff, and overall cutoff is 67.25. There is a substantial difference, but this time this substantial difference has dropped down because RBI has drastically increased the sectional cutoff from 15% to 25%. Now you must be wondering, sir, this 25%, 15%, is it fixed? No, it is not fixed. Sir, is it mentioned in the notification? No, it is not mentioned in the notification. It can be only analyzed, and our analysis says till date it has always below or up to 25%, but you must target 30%, keeping in mind 2025 examination. The next and the last point I have is, in case of phase 1, I call it as elimination round, and each and every mark is really very important. So try to practice really very hard so that you can clear phase 1 for sure, because the moment you clear phase 1, the success rate will increase in phase 2 as well as in the interview part. Most difficult part, or I would say the lowest success rate, is in the case of phase 1 examination. Now let's move ahead. If I talk about the students who have received the highest marks, then the highest marks which have been received in phase 2 why I'm showing this, then I will be showing you the cutoff, then you will be able to analyze the things pretty well. So please pay attention. As you can see, in case of ESI, objective and descriptive, highest marks were 75 on an average in past 3 years, 21, 22 and 23. Then in case of English, it was around 76, it was around 78, and in case of FM, the highest marks were 81 or 80 can be taken as the average. Now, if you are focusing on the highest marks, that is going to be difficult because everyone cannot be good in all the three subjects simultaneously. There are few candidates who have managed to clear this exam by just scoring 35 marks in ESI or around 50 marks in English and around 45 marks in your finance and management part. But rather than focusing on the highest or lowest, your target should be the average, because of which I brings to you this average wala part. See this very carefully. As we can see and we can check, in case of ESI, our average marks are around 62. In case of English descriptive, average marks are around 72. And in case of finance and management, the average marks are around 66. If you add all of them, 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 6 is 10, 1 is carry. Then if I say 7 plus 7 is 14, 14 plus 6 is 20. That means overall, if you're scoring more than 200 marks or close to 200 marks in phase 2, you will be in a situation to clear this examination for very sure in the very first attempt itself. Now, why I'm saying that don't focus on highest or lowest, because highest marks are not earned by one individual. I'm not saying the one who has earned highest in ESI was the same who earned highest in English descriptive as well as FM. No, these are the different candidates who have scored highest marks but in different papers. That means you cannot be good in all the three papers. Same goes for the lowest, but you must focus on the average part. If you're maintaining the average in all the three papers, you can easily clear this examination. Now you need to know, so what was the cutoff for the phase 2 exam, on the basis of which you are saying that 200 marks in phase 2 is more than sufficient. Here you see the cutoff. If I brings to you the cutoff in 2018, when 100% objective paper was there in phase 2, the cutoff was 201.25. In 2019, it fell down to 193.25. But what I say, these cutoffs are not relevant to us because at that time, examination was entirely objective in nature. Let's check out the cutoff for the part when examination introduced descriptive part, or RBI introduced the descriptive section. The moment RBI introduced the descriptive section in 2021, the cutoff was 187 out of 300. Cutoff was 187 out of 300. Now you must be wondering, sir, why you were saying that I must target 200 marks? Please check this out very clearly. 187 was the cutoff in phase 2 and overall cutoff was 252. If you add them, the difference between these two is what? So the difference between these two is 65 marks. And obviously, it's really very tough to score 65 marks out of 75 in the interview itself. So never ever focus on the cutoff. If you will be getting marks close to cutoff, then you need to fight really very hard in interview, and interview is unpredictable. So it's better, let's fight and try our level best in the phase 2 itself. And keeping in mind the average score which I gave you, that is going to help you a lot. You should note down these scores, keep these scores in mind, and prepare in the same direction so that you can achieve your score close to them in order to clear this examination. One more thing I would like to add, the students who have cleared the exam, if we check out their background, majorly students who have done BTech or engineering students, they manage to clear this examination. On an average, every year, more than 60% students, they are engineers who clear this particular exam. And there is one more catch. Out of the finally selected students, 60%, approximately 60% in last 3 years, we have witnessed that they were from UPSC background. Why? The UPSC background students, they have a good chance. The reason is introduction of descriptive part in phase 2. Out of 300, 200 marks are going to be descriptive in nature. That means 66% weightage is given to descriptive, and obviously the UPSC aspirants, they have good writing skills. They know how to structure, how to write a good answer. They know the right, as well as I would say the correct art of writing a good answer. They know how to articulate it pretty well. So if you are a UPSC aspirant, you stand a good chance to clear this examination. Let's check out the cutoff for 2022. See, in 2021 this examination was conducted, I would say descriptive exam was conducted for the very first time, because of which lenient marking was done and examination was also easy in comparison to the next year exam. Therefore the cutoff was 187.75, but in 2022 the cutoff fell down to 171.25. But again, the catch is same. If you see this, the difference, if I say again, the difference is around 63. That means again, if you are just passing the phase 2 on borderline, then you will be requiring more than 60 marks to clear the, or to get into the final list, which is going to be difficult. Lastly, if we talk about the latest 2023, which is toughest examination till date, 169 was the cutoff, but the trend is followed in this year's cutoff as well, and the trend again says you need 60 marks out of 75. So from this, one thing we have concluded pretty well, that if you want to clear this exam, if you want to be RBI Grade B officer, you must target phase 2 in a very constructive manner, so that you should score at least 10 to 20 marks extra than the cutoff. And if I talk about the cutoff, sir, highest cutoff till date is 187, lowest cutoff till date is 169. And what we are trying to aim, so we are trying to aim a score of 200 marks with an average in ESI, English descriptive, and F. We have decided this as well. If you remember, I've just given you the data, 62, then 64 and 72 we have already discussed. Now, if you work in this direction, examination is difficult, obviously cutoff is low, then your score may also fell down by 10 to 20 marks. You may land up at 180. Still, if you are landing at 180, you are 11 marks extra in comparison to the cutoff, and you need to score 11 marks less. That means if you are scoring 49 in interview, then also you can manage to clear this exam. So that should be your target. This kind of clarity is required in order to clear this examination, that I should try my level best to score 200 marks in phase 2. If examination is going to be tough, I may fall down by 10 or 15 marks, but don't worry, cutoff will also be also falling down in the same manner. Otherwise, if examination is easy, I can easily go for 200 marks. And if I'm going for 200 marks, as per the past year analysis, I can easily clear this examination in the very first attempt itself. Before I conclude my discussion, I have some important points to discuss. Candidates, they are generally confused that whether we should prepare for phase 1 and phase 2 simultaneously, or first let's prepare for phase 2 and then phase 1. My answer is, please prepare for phase 1 and phase 2 simultaneously. Some students, they feel that only IITians, IIM students or UPSC candidates can clear this exam. My answer is no. Many students from non-IIT, non-IIM, non-UPSC background, they manage to clear this exam. What requires is motivation, determination, and right strategy so that you can clear this exam. Many students, they ask me a question that, sir, there is a book list given in the RBI Grade B notification. Should we follow that? That is not required. Just cover each and every topic which is mentioned in the syllabus. Syllabus is your Bible. Cover word by word each and every topic mentioned in the syllabus. That is going to solve your purpose. Last is importance of newspaper. See, newspaper will not help you to prepare for current affairs. Rather, you must use newspaper for reading the editorials and articles relevant to your syllabus of ESI and finance. This will help you to write a good answer in the examination. It will help you to build your analytical skill, and it will increase your factual database. Database, what I'm trying to say is, we have n number of facts, we have n number of figures and data related to different aspects. So the moment you will be reading editorials and articles, you need to take out those facts, those datas, and maintain a data bag, or I would say a data box where you will be writing them all and try to revise them before going in the examination so that you can use that data, while writing the descriptive answer. So I hope the entire discussion which we have done is going to help you a lot. That will be all from my side, guys. Hope to see you present in my upcoming live sessions, and don't forget to subscribe our channel if you're joining us for the very first time. Good luck. God bless you all.